So that is the most hated AMG since probably the beginning of AMGs ever. That is the new C63 SE Performance 4MATIC Plus.
I'm ready for war if it comes to time for some action. Time for some action. Time for some action.
We're at the BIC, we're at the Buddh International Circuit, which is India's only Formula 1 circuit, and we're driving a car which has Formula 1 tech packed all the way around it, right? Let's do a quick walk around because we're going to drive the track, but we don't have like a full camera kit because we come here to a little bit enjoy today. We're not here to do a serious review because I have something absolutely epic in mind with this car. Something to do with V8s, and V8 is what this car doesn't have. Let's talk about the car generally because of course a C63 should be a little bit shouty but still a little bit subtle. That's what the C63 has always been about. Now the shouty part came from the engine in the past. Loud, obnoxious, poppy, crackly, really crazy. But this time around the shoutiness comes from all of these red accent pieces. Now this is the F1 edition. F1 circuit, F1 edition makes sense, but the standard 1.95 crore price tag is not for the F1 edition. We thought it was. We were actually wrong. So all these little red accent pieces and these special wheels come in the F1 edition, and also you get these seats, but we'll talk about these seats when we actually get inside. We'll talk about them in a bit. But overall, it is slightly wider, it is slightly longer on the wheelbase. In fact, it is longer here as well because it has to accommodate all the hybrid powertrain bits, and it has a battery in the back, which the normal C-Class of course doesn't have. And that means you actually have a bit of a hump here to accommodate that battery pack, and the boot goes down really quickly as somebody suggested yesterday. Anyways, C63 has always been about crazy horsepower, crazy performance, but you can also use it every day, and I think this is more towards that everyday car than the C63 has ever been in the past. The 204, the W204, the 6.2 litre one was again very usable but very shouty. The 205 I think is a great blend. Fantastic car. Will go down as one of the best AMGs ever made. In fact, both those C63s are some of the best AMGs ever made. This one, not so much, because the market response to this car in general in Europe has been absolutely atrocious, has been horrible. I don't know how many cars they'll sell in India, to be very honest. It is a compelling package so far in terms of spec sheet stuff. And in fact, it's a very compelling package because since when is 680 horsepower not good enough? And that 680 horsepower comes from the engine, which, right, no V8, of course, everybody's been cribbing and crying, but I like progress and I like moving forward with things. And honestly, I am a massive fan of 4-cylinder turbocharged engines. This is the most powerful, say it again, the most powerful production turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that you can get. In fact, this is currently, I believe, the most powerful 4-cylinder car that you can buy in the world. Of course, this is handmade by one person, Sasha Reese. Thank you so much for making this lovely engine. And we already know that this engine is an absolute masterpiece. But is this enough to make a C63 a compelling argument? Maybe. Let's talk about what makes this car so special. Now, e-performance, right? That's what it's all about. It's got a hybrid powertrain in the back. It's got a little 6 kWh battery pack in the back, and it has a bunch of horsepower. That makes 204 horsepower, if I'm not wrong. And that goes to the rear wheels via a small 2-speed gearbox. But this is what's interesting, right? Now, this is a turbocharger. As we all know, it's made by Garrett, who makes a lot of turbochargers, hundreds and thousands of millions of turbochargers every year. But this has a small electric motor on the shaft itself. So while in the past there have been electric motors to sort of boost in the sort of air and feed the turbo with pre-fed air, this electric motor actually boosts the turbo shaft, the turbo propeller, the impeller itself, which makes this car have no turbo lag. At least what they've told, that's what they've told us. Other bits and pieces, very important. Come here, from my perspective, people who like to tune cars, right? The downpipe is right here. All you have to do is probably open these 4 bolts, open one bolt here, one bolt there, couple of bolts on the bottom, out it goes, and in it comes. And let's hear how it sounds like. Nothing, which is a little disappointing, honestly, because the C63 should have a bit of a growl. The A45 with this engine has a growl, so I'm wondering why this car doesn't. Strange. Okay, so there you have it. A little bit of a run through of what the car is all about. Interior stays about the same as a normal C-Class. Nice vent here, which is a real vent, by the way. Also, these vents are real. All of these on the bottom. Interior stays about the same as a normal C-Class, but of course you get a lot of carbon. In this case, the carbon is red carbon, and you've got that F1 sort of logo right there. That's an F1 edition logo. But otherwise, as I mentioned, these seats, they are optional sort of performance seats that you don't get as standard on the car, and you get a little ventilated part here, so you can fist the seat and you won't sweat. All your sweat can sort of go through that. All the puns have been made. Time to drive. But before we drive, let's have the camera go there and let's do a bit of a startup. Yeah, that needs an exhaust for sure. That needs some sort of exhaust because this is just way too quiet. Way too quiet. Also the soft limiter. 4,000 RPM, and it's pumping sounds through the speakers, as is the case in almost every single car. The BIC is actually now sort of mapped in the AMG track pack, and it has 5 boost points, but actually you can overboost the car a little bit. You can use every single inch of power if you use it in like a qualifying mode, and if you're doing like constant laps, like a 10-lap race sort of thing, then there are 2 boost points. We'll tell you more about that when we drive the car, okay? Finally behind the wheel, there are several things I want to talk about, but we don't have a lot of time because we do have a flight to catch because we've been delayed by the fog. But anyways, the fun, crazy thing about this car, and I'm sorry about my muffled voice, but I have to do this and the helmet when I'm at the Buddh circuit. The crazy thing about the car is the number of drive modes you have. So you have snow and ice, which is the most basic. Then you have individual, which you can turn everything up to crazy mode, which we will in a bit. Then you have battery, which sort of holds the battery charge exactly as it is. It doesn't let you use battery. Then you have electric, which, as you can see now, is in full electric mode. You get 13 kilometers of range. The car's completely in EV mode. Then you get comfort, which is like a more of a hybrid thing. Sport, Sport Plus, and race. Now for this, obviously we're going to use race mode. We're going to have all suspension stuff exactly as they set it now. And we're going to keep the sound down. The sound obviously streaming through the speakers, but we're going to keep them as it is. I also have my cooling seats on and my AC on because I do feel really, really hot. And in fact, if I do a lot of track driving, I do slightly feel sick as well. So, cool, let's get on with it. We will do a little stop and race start sometime in the middle of the track, but for now, let's get a nice first impression, okay? Okay. Quick first impression, this thing feels straight off the bat much quicker. It feels much quicker than what the C63 was in the past. But also it feels slightly too serious. Should we do a race start? We should do a race start, right? Okay, so let's stop here for just a split second. Let's go into drag race mode and let's see a full-fledged drag race start, right? 3, 2, 1, go! Woohoo! 3.3 seconds to 100 on my display there. Here you go, 3.38 seconds to 100. I only did 47 meters because I don't want to do like a full-fledged 400 meter run. But 3.3 is faster than the manufacturer timing. 3.38 to be precise. So 3.4 is what the manufacturer timing is. 3.38 with 2 people in the car, Jai in the back and one big fat in the front seat. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the car feels a little more serious to drive. And that's because it is, because it's got all-wheel drive. It's got the electric motor and that EV motor in the back. You feel it come in much quicker, or actually a little split second quicker than the petrol and the turbo motor comes in. So you get that little boost of energy. I'm just going to move my balaclava slightly below so you guys can hear what I'm saying a little bit better. You get this, and don't judge me by my lines on the track right now. We're not doing a fast lap, we're just doing a sort of warm-up. But you do feel that motor coming in slightly quicker, just a little bit quicker than what the petrol motor is coming in with. So you get that little bit more power straight up when you floor it. And when you do go on the kick down mode, which is like the final setting on the accelerator pedal, the last little button, you do get all power in any case and in track mode, in race mode. Okay, let's do a hot lap. Ready? Oh, brakes are heavy and hard. Let's go into the corner. Oh, nice and playful. Now I don't have the traction control off because I have a personal rule that I do not turn traction control off. Now this is definitely a little bit of understeer there, little misjudging of the brake. I need to get more used to this car. Different to drive than what C63s have been in the past, for sure. But anyways, let's see how quick we can go. 230, 240, 253. You know what, we're going to just slow it down just a little bit because we can do a full-fledged hot lap. But there's something I completely forgot to do, which is turn on the track pack mode. Now, if you actually go to the main sort of home screen, you can actually go to track pack and you go to track race and you can select the BIC. We're at the BIC, so it's already sort of showing it here. And you can actually turn on like this overboost thing. You can go to settings and turn on hot lap mode, and when you sort of start a new lap, it'll actually let you do boost, sort of overboost function in like a few corners or going out of a few corners. I honestly don't need a lot of time with the car to tell you that this is faster on a track than the older C63 is in the correct hands. But I'm just going to be honest here and say I miss the sound. So that's a quick first impression of the C63. Straight up recommendation, if people want something that's just quick and you can sort of boast to your friends who like timings and like figures and stuff, this is the car for you. If you want to drive a car for pure passion, maybe not. Because yes, it does lack a little bit of sound, it does lack a little bit of soul. There is just something missing. But in terms of a driving dynamic package, this thing is freaking unreal. It's crazy quick, it's crazy fast, and it's just crazy good. Okay, so there you have it. Our quick first impressions on the BIC of the C63. This makes it the third C63 that I've driven. 204, 205 and 206 now, which is good. Good day at the office. But we have a very, very special video that I promise you, all my heart and soul, that I will bring to you for this car. Right, so stay tuned for that. For now, it's us cutting off. We'll see you in the comments as we always do. Bye-bye and see you.